So, welcome back, right? As always, I hope you're all doing well. It's starting to get a little bit chilly over here in the UK. Not too bad yet, but it's getting there. Right, now, before I start, I want to give a little shout out to the Suffolk Shaver, who commented on my last video about me beard itch. Because to be honest with you, it was really starting to get to me.
Jeez.
So he advised me to get some beard balm and some beard oil, and I got some like proper beard shampoo and conditioner. Because I think I was overwashing it. So I was washing it every day, shampoo, conditioning it, and I suppose my skin underneath was getting a bit dry. So that caused the itch. So it's a lot better now, and yes, I'm starting to look quite hairy. The wife's not sure she likes it yet. Right. As you know, I've been doing a couple of madness videos lately, and I really wanted to play this LP today, so this is going to be I think it's third in a row. Come on down. This one is the 1982 classic album, The Rise and Fall of Madness. I remember this album coming out so well. Obviously, Our House, and Tomorrow's Just Another Day were singles from here. And singles released around this time was obviously Driving in My Car and Madness's only #1 hit. Shame that is. I think they deserve so many more. House of Fun. Now, I have a little story about House of Fun, but I'm not going to mention it on here. But I did do a video back in 2017 when I first started doing YouTube. So I'll link it down below. I can't remember how to do that up the top now. I'm getting a little bit crap. So this is on the Salvo label. Tomorrow's Just Another Day, Our House and More Classics, with new liner notes from Chris Foreman, Suggs, Mike Barson, Cathal Smith, Woody Woodgate and Lee Thompson. So let's have a little open up. Obviously I've already got this on vinyl, but I'm really enjoying these. So let's have a little open up and have a little look inside. I'll try and save the hype sticker, as we always do. Got it. Without making too much damage. There it is. It opens up like so, and there are Madness. So this has got new liner notes, so I'm going to enjoy while I'm playing it. I'm going to have a little read of those. Right, not an anti-static, so that will be changed. Let's have a little look at the record. What? Well, that didn't want to come out. Right. And there we go. Madness is The Rise and Fall. I'm not sure about this. I've seen Tom Waits did it on the remasters, and Madness have been doing it. Not sure about putting the cover on the label and then having all the writing on the other side. I don't know what your views are on that, but I don't know why you don't just have it how it used to be. But 180 gram. Because I do think my other one is pretty thin. I've played it for a little while, to be honest with you. So, quite looking forward to giving that a little spin. I've got my plastic sleeve ready for it to go in after. So, I suppose without further ado, before we go to play it, let's see what Wikipedia knows about Madness's The Rise and Fall. The Rise and Fall is the fourth studio album by Madness, released on the 8th of October 1982 on the Stiff label. The album saw Madness at their most experimental, exhibiting a range of music styles including jazz, English music hall, and the Eastern influences. NME described it, at the time of its release, as the best Madness record. Though the album was never released in the US, several tracks were later placed on the compilation Madness, including Our House, the band's only top 10 hit in America. Initially conceived as a concept album about nostalgia for childhood, The concept was eventually dropped. However, the original theme is still evident, particularly in the title track and the album's major hit, Our House. This theme was also mentioned when interviewed as part of Tea in the Park highlights, where drummer Woody claimed that all the band members were told to write about their childhood memories to the rise and fall.
The rise and fall, I believe. And we, as a project to each other, said, let's have a subject that we can all write songs about. And it was all about childhood. And that was a simple task that everyone should go away and write about their childhood. So Mike went away and wrote about New Delhi, which was completely... no. Anyway...
Although the band had previously been avowedly apolitical, the track Blueskin Beast was an overt satire on Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and her handling of the Falklands War, paving the way for more political comments in subsequent Madness albums. In a retrospective review for AllMusic, critic Stephen Thomas Erlewine gave the album 4.5 stars out of 5 and wrote that the rise and fall is recognisably Madness in sound and sensibility. Faint echoes of their breakneck nutty beginnings can be heard on Blueskin Beast and Mr. Speaker Gets the Word. The melodies are outgrowths of such early masterpieces as My Girl. There's a charming, open-hearted humour and carnivalesque swirl that ties everything together. And also noting the rest of the album contains the same wit, effervescence and joy, capturing what British pop life was all about in 1982, just as the Kinks' Village Green Preservation Society did in 1968, or Blur's Park Life would do in 1994. The album was also included in the book, 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. Okay, should we get it on the turntable? Come on in. Mustard. Now, I did put a sticker on, but unfortunately I covered a little bit of Suggs' head. Wow, so much nostalgia tied up to this record. It's absolutely amazing. And I tell you what, it's really complex. You don't realise until you sit down and have a proper listen. I mean, when I used to listen to this years ago, when I was 16, I had an horrible little stereo, just, the speaker came out of it. Tiny little thing. And I used to listen to it in the garage, so it's actually bloody marvellous. Sound-wise, it was terrific, and I really, really did enjoy the liner notes. It does give you a bit more of an insight into the album, and obviously I love the bit where Suggsy's talking about they was recording in Air Studio, and Paul McCartney was in there at the same time doing his record, and Linda McCartney sort of really liked what Madness was doing. And then it came on that on the TV, the charts or whatever, on the radio, and Paul McCartney sort of got out of the way of Suggs, pushed him out of the way to see where his record was doing. But Suggs does mention that he beat him on Space Invaders. So many. The vinyl sounded lovely. I mean, mine's quite old now, so there's a few cracks and popples and bits and bobs like that. The vinyl's pretty quiet. Yeah, it's a really, really nice record. As soon as it starts from the rise and fall, these are the streets I used to walk, it just gives you that nostalgic feeling. It's hard to say what my favourites on here are. Obviously Our House, everyone knows Our House, and it does conjure up that time, and the strings in it and all really do make the song sound so good. Tomorrow's Just Another Day, obviously. I remember that song so well because I went away with my youth club and I ended up getting beaten up by some older bloke. I remember that quite well. But Tomorrow's Just Another Day was in the charts at that time. Primrose Hill was amazing. At the end, it's got like a Salvation Army band going on, and it beautiful. Really, really liked it. There's not a bum song on here. Madness is all in the mind. Chrissy Boy says on the notes, actually, if Madness 7 was Revolver, this is their Sergeant Pepper. Because honestly, the actual arrangement and the production on this record are underestimated. They really, really are. Mr. Speaker Gets the Word, brilliant. Blue Skin Beast, amazing. New Delhi, amazing still. And obviously the last track on here is called Madness Is All in the Mind. And I think, if I remember rightly, that was the B-side to Tomorrow's Just Another Day on the single. And that's sung by Chaz Smash, or Cathill Smith, as he goes by nowadays. I mean, it says on the notes as well, like, Suggs was very gracious. You know, he wouldn't mind someone else having a little go and getting up and singing, even though Suggs is clearly the voice of Madness. And Elvis Costello done a version of that, real slowed down and a little bit more jazzy. But there's all flavours on this record. If you haven't got The Rise and Fall of Madness and you're a Madness fan, you're crazy. And if you've got a pretty decent stereo, treat yourself. It's better than you remember. It really, really is. I'm going to have another go on it this afternoon. But really happy with the pressing on this. And I've thoroughly enjoyed all these liner notes by the band. I mean, they're so down to earth. The way they write and interview, it's just like how you're talking, how your mates are. It's really good. And that's why I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's highly recommended, guys, if you get an opportunity. Before We Was We, Madness by Madness. It's a wonderful book. And I think there's an audio book of it as well, I do believe. But well worth a look at. Right, so it's up there, isn't it? I mean, out of 10, 9, 8. But obviously I'm a Madness fan. I've loved them since I was young. And listening to it on a better stereo now, you get a better appreciation of it all. Like I said before, when I was in the garage, young and curled up with me mate, you know what I mean, freezing cold, listening to it on a little, I don't know, £10 stereo or whatever it was, with not a proper stylus. You don't get the better. This sounded amazing. The production was wonderful. The arrangements are sublime. And Madness was on top of their game at the time. They really, really were. I think I'm going to have to purchase Madness 7 next, I do think. I'm quite enjoying playing these again. Like I said, I'm going to have another little go on that this afternoon. So, yeah. Comes highly rated by me. And that's it. I ain't going to go in track by track, like I said. I want to try and keep these videos shorter. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it went so quick. It literally went so quick, the album. So, yeah, that means I obviously really enjoyed it. Right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you now. Have yourselves a great week. And I'll be back with another ramble real soon. Take care, people.